Barret Edelstein here, your celeb expert and your Celeb Savant. Celeb Savant is a weekly entertainment show. We have long-form career retrospective type interviews with celebrities, singers, actors, and industry experts. Some artists, it takes me very quickly to secure an interview, and some others, it takes a while. So it took me 18 months to secure an interview with Tiffany. Her manager kept mentioning that she wasn't doing interviews at those times, and as soon as I saw she was releasing a new album, Shadows, I reached out, and Elizabeth gave me the thumbs up, and we scheduled the interview. Tiffany Renee Darwish, otherwise known as Tiffany, is an American singer, songwriter, actress, and former teen icon. Her 1987 cover of the Tommy James and the Shondells song, I Think We're Alone Now, spent 2 weeks at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart and was released as the second single from her debut studio album, Tiffany. Her singles Could Have Been and I Saw Him Standing There, a cover version of the Beatles' I Saw Her Standing There, followed soon after, with the former also claiming the #1 position on the Billboard Hot 100. Thanks to an original mall tour, The Beautiful You celebrating the Good Life Shopping Mall Tour 87, Tiffany found commercial success, and both her singles and the album peaked at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100 and Billboard 200 charts respectively. Tiffany's second studio album, Hold an Old Friend's Hand, featured a top 10 single, charted in the upper register of the Billboard 200 in 1988, and ultimately became a platinum-selling album. The 1990s saw 2 additional releases from Tiffany, 1990's New Inside and the age-exclusive Dreams Never Die in 1993. Tiffany returned in 2000 with her first studio album in 6 years, The Color of Silence, and she has continued to release albums and toured the world over the decades. Up next on Celeb Savant, we have got Tiffany. Tiffany, thank you for your time on the Celeb Savant podcast today. So where do we find you in the world? How are you doing and what's happening in your world?
Oh, there's so much happening in my world. New album coming out November 25th.
Yes.
Finally, Shadows. So very exciting stuff. Tour to follow in the new year. Getting ready for the new year. The holidays, it just goes, everybody's so busy right now. So there's so much going on. And then my cooking, Let's Food with Tiffany, which is amazing. It's growing. Cooking Club is growing. Cookbook coming out it's a co-venture with a friend of mine, Tom Vrim. He's here in Nashville, and he is, studio engineer, but all things foodie as well. And it was great to be able to show him some of my international breakfast dishes that have been inspired from all of my travels from around the world, really. So I hope to do the same thing, continue on touring. Adding, other areas now, like, I'd love to go to Southeast Asia, and I'd love to go to some of the Latin countries and just expand now that we can travel again.
So for those people who have been living under a rock for a period of time, let's take it all the way back. So we know that you have been in the music industry for many years. So the hybrid version of the Tiffany music journey.
Well, the height of it was, the mall tour and touring the world after that. And I think I toured for like 5 years straight. And then before that, I got signed at 14. So we were recording an album for a year. And I didn't stop from 14 until about 21. I think so, about 6 years that I was go, traveling the world, which was, again, exciting. That's how I learned how to do all these wonderful dishes and inspiration of different musicians and music and cultures and community and, different vibes of people. So it's all made me who I am. And I think that was the height of all of that at the beginning of the mall tour.
I want to say thank you, because this is quite a deep and emotional thing for me. So when I was listening to your beautiful track, If Only, of the Colors of Silence album, it helped me realize that, as a child, I was abused. And I didn't realize it as a child, because for my definition of abuse was I needed to be scared, I needed to be fearful and all those type of things. And the person who did it to me made it exciting and fun and into a game. So it wasn't that I'd blocked it out, but it was that I didn't realize it. And at the age of 25, I was listening to that track, If Only, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks that, oh my word, I was abused as a child, and that song allowed me to go through a journey of healing. So I wanted to say thank you for that.
Oh, well, I'm so sorry, first of all. It's hard. We don't know what scars are within us, you know.
Yes.
And sometimes, like even me, yeah, it's the quiet moments sometimes that it just dawns on you, or you look at things in a different perspective. So life is always about growing and doing what we know the best with at the time,
Yeah.
how to deal with that. And it's really an honor, really, for one of my songs to, be part of your journey of healing. Because as a songwriter, they're my stories. They're kind of things that I've went through, or you hope that, your songs are going to motivate people. So thank you so much for sharing with me. Sending you lots of love, big
Thank you.
hugs. Thank you.
Thank you. So now let's dive into the new album that's coming out. Tell us more about it, what inspired it, what the songs are about. Let's go into that.
Well, the songs are really, again, my stories.
Yeah.
People that have inspired me or told me theirs on the road, a lot of road experiences, a lot of behind the scenes, my real life, divorces, new relationships, the complications there, finding yourself, finding things you don't like about yourself, boundaries, no boundaries. Can I go on and on and on? I think this album really has it all. Love, and heartbreak, all of it. So, when we were writing this album, it's called Shadows, really, the title track, Shadows, is there, and it's probably going to be the third single. But, that's not really what I, call the album Shadows for. It just kind of came out that we write it. Of course, we want to write a song like that, but it was deeper than that. It was more about the complexity of our lives, the light and the dark, the good and the bad, the happy and the fear,
Yeah.
the uncomfortable, and the known. So all of these things are, sometimes safe, but are they really,
Yeah.
if you're not happy? So I think that all rolls into this album. My favorite songs are like Bed of Nails, which is complicated. And then of course the title, the title track Shadows, which is yeah, I think punk, pop, fun, 80s, wink, wink, rock and roll, a little bit of all of it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what this album is. It's, the up-tempo stuff is really a wink back to like retro stuff, little punk pop and modern production. So it's got a little bit of everything. It's, it's modern, yet it's got that hidden gem that I think some of those eras and some of the retro stuff just had. I don't know what there's a take on it, but
Yeah.
it's a feeling, really. So we've worked really hard to bring that to that side. And then of course these big ballads that are hopefully inspiring, but also definitely heartbreaking. And a lot of those are my stories. Songwriting is really my therapy. I love it.
So it's a full emotional journey of healing for yourself and for the listener.
I hope so, definitely. Yeah. I mean, for me, it definitely was. And that's really songwriting. That's what it took on for me, is a way to, talk about what I'm going through or to what I'm seeing. People tell me, a lot of people trust me with their stories. Because you're on the road and you do meet and greets and you hear people say, the funniest things, sometimes too many stories about how I think we're low now happened for them.
Yeah.
Too much, for your information. Like, I'm like, no, thank you. But I mean, that's the power of, I think we're low now. It's just went all over the world.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. And I hope to tour South Africa coming soon in the next year as well. That's on my list.
Oh, brilliant. I'm
only
very
been
excited.
there for a TV show. Now I'd like to really branch out and see some things and spend some time and enjoy it. So I think that's another thing in this, new year for me, and where I'm at now as a person is I, want to make all of it happen. I want to enjoy being on the road and be very present and offer other things to my fans as far as meet and greets and journeys. And I have holistic retreats that we're going to be doing. So maybe different things that you can kind of go on. That's all leads to music.
Yeah.
But through food and music and fun, really.
So you said you've been to South Africa before for a TV show. Is that correct?
I did, yes. So I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here.
Oh,
As
okay.
I taped that, so that was a lot of fun. And I spent some time in Joburg just for a minute, like
Okay.
a week, I want to say, but I didn't go very many places. I was in lockdown mode before the show, and then after, I think I was there for 2 days, so I was quite tired. But I did get a chance to see some things and shop, and I went to the Hard Rock. Of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was wonderful just to be there and just to take it all in. And I'd love to go back. I know
So
there's so much more to see.
so looking forward to you coming for concerts, and I'm going to be standing right up in front cheering, and then we'll go for drinks afterwards. How does that sound?
Well, yes, this is our plan. So we have to
Okay,
make
great.
this happen.
Okay, lovely. So putting it out there. So I'm going to put you on the spot. A game I like to play. Not my recipients don't always enjoy it. And I know the answer will be different if I ask you this question in 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or 2 hours. So your top 5 go-to songs by other artists that you'll just dive into at this moment.
Stevie Nicks, Landslide.
Yeah.
I would probably do Dust in the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's by Kansas, I believe.
Okay.
And let's see. I have to get some good ones in there. I probably would have Simple Minds.
Mm.
Don't You Forget About Me. That's like actually my favorite 80s song.
That's a cool one, yeah.
And I have to have, let's see. This is hard. Oh my
It is
gosh.
hard. I know. That's why I said people don't always like it. Just two more.
I have to say that I want to hear all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. It would have to be probably, oh, well, really? Something by Led Zeppelin. Let's pick one, not Stairway to Heaven. What's the one that, baby, 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 I'm gonna leave you. I don't know. But anyway, that song. I'll look it up later on. We'll put it there.
Yes.
And then the last one would have to be probably Autumn Leaves, but sung by Eva Cassidy.
Oh, beautiful.
Because she's beautiful and wonderful, and her voice was amazing.
Yeah.
So those are my picks.
Thank you. So you mentioned that songwriting is for therapy for yourself. Besides that, what keeps on motivating you to keep creating new music?
Life, really. And this is what I do, living. Again, it's like my therapy. So now I'm completely hooked. And, the opportunity to be able to do music. I mean, obviously through everything we've went through, you can't take anything for granted. So I'm here making music. I haven't stopped. And I think I'm making some of the best music of my life. I'm looking forward to the next couple of journeys. And, we're not planning any new album right now, but there's always things that you're gathering, like I said. As I start to do the Shadows tour and we go on the road, those journeys and those adventures will lead to new songs. So, what's always there in the background, kind of culminating a little bit, I think probably. So, but right now I really want to enjoy Shadows and be present.
Yeah.
And enjoy a lot of the new businesses that I'm in ventures with. Let's Food with Tiffany is taking off. Like I said, cookbook, new Zen My Friend, Let Zen My Friend, my company, which is holistic healing and retreats next year. But again, all coming back to music, but just different experiences that the fans can be a part of my world, and different communities and people that I've met through, all the crazy that we went through in COVID, but the good things that came out of it. You've got to meet other people, and think of other ideas and flourish those ideas and other sides of you.
In the 80s, 90s, we had vinyl, cassettes, CDs. Those are gratefully making a comeback. I love me a CD. I love holding the booklets. I love seeing the artwork, the aesthetics of holding something. We've now got these streaming platforms of the way people and listeners consume music. What is your perception of how the music industry has changed over the years?
Well, it's not my favorite, all the streaming stuff. That's why I
Okay.
have my vinyl. So you can pre-order right now,
Yes.
tiffanytunes.com. And I too love tangible. I love stuff. This album is actually the vinyl. It's an experience that I've never done before. It's the most artsy, if you will.
Hmm.
And it's a pop-up and it's got three different pictures you can choose to kind of spin around.
Yeah.
Again, a little old school fun. It's kind of origami. It's a, if you lay it flat and then you lay it like with a light behind it, it glows through all the, different pop up, if you will, which is kind of cool. So it's kind of an art piece. And so, I mean, there's a lot of more in-depth thinking about this one as
Yeah.
again, as we move into shadows and where it's going to land in theaters and art galleries and doing work with Stuart Simple, that it's amazing. It's like an artist in the UK. He's wonderful. So there's so much that went into this package, and I want people to get it because I too remember having that. I remember when you used to frame them. Do you remember?
Yes.
When you used to frame vinyls with those. So that's where I started out listening to records, was sneaking in my cousin's bedroom, listening to her vinyls and making sure not to scratch them,
Yes.
and listening to people like Heart and Fleetwood Mac and Led Zeppelin and AC/DC. And that's really where Tiffany kind of popped, because I was exposed to country music before that. And before that, I didn't really have a full venture of a music. So it was great to have some vinyl back then. It's great to have vinyl now. I highly encourage it.
Yes.
I mean, it's lovely to be able to have the platforms that you can get out your music ASAP.
Yeah.
But there's nothing, again, like, seeing those notes and seeing those liner notes and seeing who's involved and
Yes.
all of that. That's the history of it.
Now, Tiffany, the podcast is listened to throughout the world. The main listening audience is in the US, the UK, Australia, South Africa. As a final message to the listening audience, what would you like to say?
Oh, my goodness. Well, join me on Tiffany Tunes for all the adventure, tiffanytunes.com. And on social media, the same thing, Tiffany Tunes. Come enjoy like Let's Food with Tiffany on Instagram and Facebook. And, I'm going to be coming back to the UK, other adventures planned as well for around the world next year. And just, right now I'm learning patience. I have so many plans, but we just got to put it into motion.
Yes.
So right now we're building the tour for Shadows, and it'll be spot dates. So make sure you come, because there won't be a lot, but they'll be fantastic with more zhuzhy production. That's what I call it. And but you can follow all the behind the scenes on Patreon, and I'll go to Tiffany Tunes, and that has where every place you can get involved to be part of my wonderful yet wacky world.
We are kindred spirits, because I'm also completely wacky. So
I love it. Yes, we are.
So this is Celeb Savant signing out with Tiffany. Thank you so much for your time, Tiffany.
Oh, thank you so much. Take care.